What's up, you guys? This is Vindictam's Cantina here, coming at you with a new news video, and I'm just going to jump right into this because holy crap, this is huge. Um, so let me just jump into reading the article. Star Wars returns to theaters for 50th anniversary update. Experience the original 1977 film with a theatrical re-release in 2027. On February 19th, on February 19th, 2027, we'll celebrate the 50th anniversary of Star Wars with a re-release of the 1977 original back for a limited time in theaters everywhere. Part of Lucasfilm's year-long 50th anniversary celebration, a newly restored version of the classic Star Wars 1977 theatrical release, later renamed Star Wars A New Hope, will play in theaters for a limited time. Switch on your targeting computers and keep your eyes up. Yada. So, this is huge. Because everyone knows that for the longest time, George Lucas refused to remaster the theatrical versions and re-release them, which angered a portion of the fan base. The fan base that just wanted to watch these films like this, and they just didn't care about the prequels or anything else. Granted, there are also fans of the prequels that also want to see these versions of the films, myself included, because this version of the film is the version. I think my older brother saw this in theaters. I might need to ask some family members of mine. But I've always wanted to see this particular one because this is the one that George did the most changes to, because this was the one film that he was unhappy with the most because of the technology of his time. And my opinion is that George Lucas has every right to change his movies. It's his it's his film. And I know that people are going to bring in the fact that, oh well, George mentioned how it's wrong to color black and white film. Well, I do see that logic. I do see that point. However, everyone's a little bit hypocritical in some way. Um, because George Lucas also wanted to change the movies, especially when he started working on the prequels, to have them align more with the prequels, because naturally there are certain things in the first three Star Wars movies, as in Episode 4, 5, and 6, that does not align up perfectly with the prequels. Like, probably still one of the biggest ones is the fact that Leia remembers her mother. Now, that could be explained simply as that, she could, that she felt Padme's emotions through the Force when she was born. There's ways that they can fix that, I'm sure. But that's still something that people bring up, is that there's still those certain little things that they still haven't been able to do because, and I see George Lucas' point here is because that scene is very important to Jedi, because that's right before Luke surrenders himself to the Empire. And that's when Luke tells Leia that, hey, you're my sister. But back to this, um, this is something that us fans have been clamoring for. This was actually one of my biggest hope when Disney bought Lucasfilm, because why not? Why not have both the special edition and the theatrical version stand side by side? You can simply just call the freaking the theatrical version of Star Wars, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're not calling it A New Hope. They're calling it Star Wars by its original name. So there's different ways that they can do this, right? They can put this as a bonus feature on the current A New Hope, so that people can access it anytime they want. Kind of similar to where there are certain Muppet movies on Disney Plus that has the full length version on there, because there's like at least like one song in like Muppets A Christmas Carol that they took out. Um, but they can do this, re, put it on there separately and just have it be called Star Wars. Have the classic, logo on there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, some people might be concerned by the limited release. They did that with the other, with the other theatrical releases too. Um, so I don't think this means that they're gonna pull a quote unquote Disney and put it in the Lucasfilm Fall. No, they're gonna do something with this. They know that fans have been clamoring for this, and I foresee this. Hopefully, this re-release stays in theaters for at least for about a good few months, or at least for the full year of 1977. That 1977 for the full year of 2027. And you know, the last time we had access to at least a version of the original cuts was the um, limited editions versions of the special editions that came out in 2004, to where if you got a certain version of it, you got the special edition on one disc, and then on the other disc you got the Laserdisc version of Star Wars Empire and Jedi. And people back then were not happy because they were poor quality and they did not remaster it or nothing. Which you guys gotta remember is that, again, George Lucas just owned those versions of of those movies. And even though that he was appreciative of the fact that Star Wars was so successful that he was able to make the others, he was always not satisfied with this version of the film. But too many Star Wars fans, they don't care about George Lucas' opinion, which is fair enough because I've been wanting to watch this version as well. And I know that there's been different fan, restorations. Like there's the D specialized editions, and then there's the Project 4K editions. And I know that I can easily watch any of those versions if I want to, and I might. Um, but I might wait to do that once we know for sure the fate of this, you know, remaster, because I want to own it, and that's another thing too. Put it out on physical media. Do not make it a limited thing. Do not make us wait for the other two anniversaries to re-release the other two. Just give us all three films in a box set. Do not make it limited and put it out there for people. And I've always said that if they wanted to win the fans over, they should do something like this. Is it too little too late? Maybe. But no, this is great news and I'm super excited. Will this replace the special editions? No. In terms of what is seen as canon, the special editions will always be what everything connects to at the end of the day. So, with the Anakin Force Ghost, for example, the younger Anakin is canon when it comes to the Anakin Force Ghost. Um, stuff like that. But anyways, you guys, let me know what you think about this. Um, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. I should be having my 10-year anniversary video of The Force Awakens eventually recorded. I've been going through some stuff behind the scenes, so yeah, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.